Did you know if you drop a like and subscribe in the next 5 seconds, nothing will happen but it will put a giant smile on my face? Fortnite Chapter 2 Season 5 officially only has 9 days remaining until it ends, with only 10 days until the release of Season 6. I figured today, as you can see by the title, with everything pouring out in terms of what's going to be happening, to end off the season, with so many questions of is there going to be a live event, what's happening with the 0 point, and how does it look different every time you log on, I figured we'd not only answer all of that today through reliable data that people have managed to pull out of the files early, which, believe it or not, reveals multiple events or things that will be appearing or occurring in the Season 6 trailer. But speaking of the Season 6 trailer too, believe it or not, we actually have a very close concept as to what this will look like, what will be happening, and along explaining the developments that are going to be made now in these final days or what we're yet to see, I figured we'd show these, considering it gives you a visualization of ultimately what's going to be going down, or at the very least what to expect in the next upcoming season. So of course, do yourself the favour today, stick around and watch the full thing. But quickly before we jump into it all, still 70% of you guys aren't subscribed, so what are you doing? Click the big red button now, as you're also missing out potentially on a free gift. That's right, in case you guys forgot, I give 5 subscribers every single day here on this channel. But before you allow me to prove that, this is all made possible by the amazing support you guys are showing, slapping code FriendlyMachine every 14 days inside the Fortnite item shop. As an epic partner, this is the best thing you can do to support the channel, simply taking 2 seconds out of your day to enter this code, and if you do so, let me know down below in the comments so I can give it a heart, and potentially showcase that comment on screen hearted in the very next video like these lucky people on screen right now. But of course, if you want to be showcased on screen for something different, being gifted 1 of 5 in the next video, make sure you're subscribing to the channel with all notifications turned on, and then let me know in the comments your Epic Games ID. So like I said, perhaps one of these 5 could be you even in the very next video. And with that said, now enough messing around, let's dive into all the leaks, but starting from the beginning to do with what's going to be happening transitioning into Fortnite Chapter 2 Season 6. So one of the first or most important things to note about, considering this season is literally called Fortnite 0 point as shown in the Season 5 cinematic trailer, considering Agent John Jones started out by bringing these bounty hunters into the Fortnite universe that we can unlock throughout the battle pass, there's a total of 8, the last one being revealed or confirmed to be Ant-Man right now, that will be appearing in the Fortnite universe through one of these portals spat off from the 0 point, almost making it look Kraken-like. And the interesting part of 8 portals spat off the 0 point, or the significance of them, is that there were 8 of these purple panels and light beams shot off from them into this device that Agent John Jones manned in the Season 5 cinematic trailer. Many of you may be wondering, if this was in the last cinematic trailer, why is it important for this next one? Well, for this season we haven't seen too many map changes. Literally just these wacky inflatable arm flailing tube men, let me know in the comments how fast you can say that. And despite the Predator map changes and what went on with the Mandalorian events, these portals have been the only map changes. Because of this, that narrows down then the direction of the storyline, or what ultimately Epic Games are building up. And of course, considering we know Agent John Jones is trying to contain everyone within the loop and obviously calling in all bounty hunters he can or knows of to make sure of this, we know that the work he's doing by pulling these bounty hunters, the final of which being Ant-Man, into the Fortnite universe, is definitely going to ensure that. Also, we thought, as it seems to be causing destabilization from the amount of energy used from the 0 point itself, and even the portals seem to destabilize if we look at them around the map. And with data miners being able to confirm that the 0 point is pulsating more so as days pass now, or more frequently as days pass, something may be happening that was uncalculated from Agent John Jones, and perhaps we hear that in a reality log or documentation about just him, the Fortnite character himself, or kind of part of his diary, as we've seen documentation for when he's brought each individual Fortnite character into the universe or bounty hunter through one of these 8 portals. And with that mention now, that nicely leads on to what this could be, this documentation of Agent John Jones that we're going to be showing in the first of 3 cinematic short teasers right here, so make sure you listen closely now, but also at the same time stay tuned for what we have to mention next, because honestly it's about to get crazy.
Are you hearing this?
Huh? What? Reality log, day 3. One of the drawbacks to these rifts is that I don't exactly control where or when I'm heading.
Are you hearing this? Hello?
Is that not true?
Jones?
Okay, so despite it being kind of a long shot in determining or predicting that dinosaurs will be appearing on the Fortnite island, although it would make sense with the stealthy stronghold-like resemblance to Jurassic World or Jurassic Park in the first place, let's just say that this isn't entirely wrong in depicting the appearance of an upcoming monster, or should I say the reappearance. You know, the Polar Peak monster, or should I say its actual name, the Devourer, that we saw in the Season 9 live event. Despite this being defeated by the mecha robot from harnessing the power of the original 0 point, or should I just say the 0 point overall first, even though this monster wanted to. We know again from the season after that, with the return of Kevin the Cube's floating island form, that not everything that literally blows up or is eliminated from the Fortnite universe is gone forever. With further developments made to the remains or bones of the Fortnite monster, with radiation seeping off its bones seemingly creating these pink substance areas, players thought in the end event the Polar Peak monster would be returning as the floating island for Kevin the Cube did, alongside the mecha team leader robot making a reappearance with its selectable style added of this chrome variant, perhaps with 2 arms this time though. And the main thing that led people to believe this was that the final showdown full event files were updated in the game's coding, meaning that they were going to be used or of some importance. But with nothing coming of them, and with seasons passing in Chapter 2 us not hearing anything about the monster anymore, or even the mecha team leader robot where it went for that matter, people have kind of given up on the theory of the monster returning, or another monster in this Fortnite universe we're in now after the Black Hole event basically recreating everything, or even that the giant mecha team leader robot would be returning in a revamped or rebuilt form for that matter. Well, let's just say now let's not entirely abandon that theory, as things have started to get interesting, particularly with Bunker Jonesy being one of the 10 Jonesies. And why this is the case is because if we go over to him as an NPC near Camp Cod as any character, he says, "Here it comes, don't say I didn't warn you." Well, what is he referring to exactly? It's a long shot alone to assume it's the Polar Peak monster based just off this, but speaking of the monster itself, if we wear the Devourer skin and go over to him, he states exclusively, "I thought you'd be bigger," meaning he's anticipated the return of this monster, maybe perhaps why he was able to predict in the first place that this final showdown event was going on. As for those that can't remember, yes, this was made before the final showdown commenced with the complete Fortnite puzzle, and even though we've seen the final 15.50 update for Chapter 2 Season 5 that we're going to see until the release of Chapter 2 Season 6, Epic Games, believe it or not, had some more dialogue for Bunker Jonesy to say himself, who people believe to be one of the 7 based off his secret lair with this computer system directly similar to what the scientist had in Dusty Depot, recreated through time in Season X. And this hidden text that they haven't added into the game stated, "Hey, don't look at me, I don't know how he got here either." Again, this could have been for exclusively interacting with him once wearing the Devourer outfit, or any character, and despite us not being able to put our finger on this or know for definite, it's definitely an interesting statement that could have correlated to us wearing the Devourer skin and then him expecting us to be bigger, being the monster. And speaking of the return of the Polar Peak monster or the Devourer, considering there's confirmed to be no Season 5 live event, we now know that this, if it's definitely going to be returning, it will be shown in the events occurring in the Season 6 trailer, and believe it or not, we have that to show now in a trailer-like cinematic form, also giving us an idea of how this is possible. But without spoiling it entirely, let's roll that clip for you guys and make sure to stay tuned, because things are even going to get juicier than what you're about to see.
Jones, the loop.
So in terms of our theory about the Devourer returning, it would make sense that he's underneath the water, considering it was frozen underneath the iceberg when washing up initially in Chapter 1 Season 7 that we didn't know about. And yes, despite it being a long shot of something being replicated once again in a similar manner, believe it or not, that's what all of Chapter 2 Season 5 has been about, subliminally, secretly right in front of our eyes this entire time. In case you haven't noticed on our Chapter 2 map now, things are starting to slowly go back to how they were in Chapter 1 or some version of that. For instance, what's clearly noted here here with all the POIs unnamed locations marking up exactly of where they once stood originally on our Chapter 1 map, and with Epic Games giving us free items like the throwback axe and implementing the original defaults from Chapter 1 into the item shop and even having the OG Spawn Island return, it seems to me that Fortnite is slowly reverting to its pre-Black Hole state, but not in the exact same version, as things could never be the exact same. However, this could be the intention of the Imagined Order, or who Agent John Jones is on the phone to, or even Agent John Jones himself, as by trying to contain everybody within the loop and not escape, meaning the end event never occurred, this could perhaps stop something similar from this happening again. However, along the way he may get lost in time from making all of these interdimensional jumps to other universes, bringing the bounty hunters into the Fortnite world, or who knows, the 0 point exploding may cause another catastrophe or put us in an unknown state in terms of scenery or storyline direction, and that's the theme ultimately of this last teaser trailer right now that I'm going to be playing. But before I do, I want to give a huge shout out to SD Concepts and Kumar, who will be linked to their socials in the video description at the very top down below. They both came together and created these concepts and are even working on a movie as we speak right now that hopefully is released before Season 6, depicting what's upcoming. And of course, if you enjoyed today's video, want to keep referring back to any of the information or trailers shown within it, slap a like in it down below. Make sure you're subscribing to this channel if you're new with all notifications turned on, as we're going to be grinding out the content when Season 6 starts. And with that said, now roll the clip, sit back, relax, and enjoy.
Reality log 2029. I'm out of rifts, and I'm being hunted down.